Hey guys, welcome to my video that is all about blackout tattoos. Now, blackout tattoos, as you may know, have become a huge fashion in the past few years. So I kind of wanted to make a video just to talk a little bit about why I decided to get mine, what it's like to actually have it done, what it's like trying to heal a blackout tattoo, just kind of give you some more information about it and also talk through why I got mine. I mean, on Instagram, whenever I put up and ask me anything, I'll always have at least a few questions that are based around either why did you black out your arm or why did I black out my hand, or just something generally like aimed at the reasons why I got a blackout tattoo. So I thought, what better way to answer those questions than make a YouTube video. So, first starting point, why the hell would you get a blackout tattoo? Now, most people get blackout tattoos because they're cover-ups. However, no, not me. I thought, do you know what would look cool if I coloured my entire arm in black? And then 2 weeks later, do you know what I did? I coloured my entire arm in black. Now, obviously in saying this, you guys can't really see it, and I decided to wear a long sleeve t-shirt today knowing that I was going to record this video, so well done past Holly for that, because obviously now I can't show you the whole thing. However, as you can kind of see it there, mine goes all the way up onto my shoulder. I've got a nice little plague doctor tattoo there. I've got a rose that's obviously split in half. I mean, that white work, you can't really see it that well anymore, but it's only had one pass, and I don't know if any of you guys have had white work before, but you'll know if you have that it's an absolute bitch to try and get to take into your skin. So that's only had one pass. However, I've got one here which has had 2 passes of white now, and that shows up a lot more vividly, so that's definitely one of my favourite tattoos that I have. And then it goes all the way down. This is actually a matching tattoo that I have for one of my friends, and then onto my hand. My partner likes to call this my fingerless glove, so shout out Sophie, thank you very much for that. Yeah, so back to reasons why. I mean, like I said, most people get blackout tattoos to cover something up, but no, not for me. I kind of just thought that, alright, so my take on tattoo sleeves is I love tattoos that are really heavily concentrated and aren't, you know, when you see that person and they're like, hey, I just got a new sleeve done and like, you know, it didn't even hurt, like it didn't even feel it. And you're there and you're like, yeah, that's because you have like, I don't know, maybe 3 lines and half a bit of like grey wash shading on your arm. Like, of course it didn't hurt, it's not a real sleeve. And they're like, but it is a sleeve because my whole arm's done. And you think, no, you haven't, you have not got a sleeve. My pet hate is those people that walk around, like, fair play, do what you want to do, but don't say you have a sleeve if you just have a few tattoos on your arm, or if you condensed all of that ink down into one space, you'd feel literally this part of your arm. It's not a sleeve, stop calling it a sleeve. That's that rant done. But yeah, so I wanted something that was really heavily concentrated and saturated. So I thought, what a better way to do that than black out the entire thing. Now, I'm an Aries, so I guess that's probably a very Aries way of looking at it, because I'm like, I want to do it to the most and I want it to be the best and I want it to be the biggest and the boldest and because that's just unfortunately my sign and the sort of person that I am. So, great. But yeah, I hate those sort of sleeves that are like patchy and like barely even tattooed and you sort of go, it's not a sleeve though, is it? So I thought, what better way to show that than colour your whole arm in black? So yeah, the reasons why I got it are pretty simple. I'm an Aries, I like proper solid sleeves, and I thought it looks cool. So yeah, me in 10 years when I'm making the video of why I regret my blackout tattoo can look back at this and be like, you're stupid, but you know, we shall see. So I kind of wanted to talk about what it was like to actually get my my sleeve done. I mean, you'd look at it and assume that maybe I got all of the tattoos in it first and then started blacking it out. But if you assume that, you're wrong. Now, I did actually have they've only got one area of this which is a cover up, and that's the part that's under my heart that's there. So underneath that, I had a tattoo that said, eat me, drink me, with the Marilyn Manson heart. Now, me at 19 years old, me at 19 years old thought that would be cool. And obviously, now that I'm 25, I kind of realised it's not. So I thought, what better way to cover that up than just completely black over it. So I got that covered up first. It also looked like it said eat me drink pie, and I mean, it's funny, the first time someone's like, that looks like pie, but after like every single person points it out, you do get to the point where you're like, yeah, I know, I've got a tattoo that says eat me drink pie. Like, I didn't even introduce it as eat me drink me anymore. I was like, I've got a tattoo that says eat me drink pie. So brilliant. Always go to a good tattoo artist, folks. So yeah, that part is a cover up, and that was the first tattoo that I had on this arm. Now, like I said, this was a tattoo with one of my friends. I also had a tattoo here that was with one of my friends, but I blacked that out at a later stage. But everything else, I kind of, you know, I didn't really do it in the order that you probably should. I didn't like plan out my arm and like have all these drawings done and then get them carefully placed and then colour in between them. No, that's way too sensible and organised for me. What I did was go, do you know what I want? Just colour it black, and then at some point, if I want something else in it, I'll put it in white work. But my tattoo artist was like, stop, have a think about it first. And I kind of did, and I kind of listened to their advice, and I was like, okay. So because I already had this done and I already had this done, we started blacking out the bottom of my arm because I knew I'd want quite a heavy concentration of black. So we started there. Getting it done, I'm not gonna lie, sucked a lot more than what I thought. I mean, I don't know really what I thought, but I didn't expect to swell up as much as I did. I don't know if that's entirely normal because I'm actually not a tattoo artist, guys. As you can probably tell watching this video, thinking you're stupid. But yeah, I didn't really know what to expect or what to anticipate in any way, shape or form. So I'm actually quite a swell. Even my tattoo artist that did it was a bit like, whoa, because I just swell up like a balloon like that. But I got the bottom of my arm done first. I had to do it in 2 sessions just because my arm literally was swelling up so much. It was really difficult for him to get the ink in, he said. I don't know if that's legit or not, but that's what he told me. And in all honesty, I was kind of getting to the point where I was like, this sucks really bad. So that didn't help. Yeah, so the way they do it, I assume, is just how you do any sort of solid block colour as well, which is just like the little circles and they keep going over it and over it and over it. And then they wipe it and you think, yeah, that's going to be solid black. And then you look and it's like a light grey wash and you're like, cool, keep going. So it did suck to get done, but I think it's worth it. Once I did the bottom, that's when I then got my Plague Doctor tattoo first. And I also have this here, I forgot to show you that earlier. So I've got my little cutthroat razor that just says stay sharp. It's a little memo because I'm a barber, so it's my little barber tattoo. So I got those, and then I had my arm then blacked over my elbow, and I had it blacked out to where that, literally where that line is there. So I had that section done in my next go. So I got this tattoo, and then I got this tattoo. I had one there, and then I blacked out from here all the way to there, my first go, and then I went literally to there. Elbow, swellbow, can we just call it, was disgusting. You literally sit like this and they strip. Do you know what? I actually need it redone as well. That's really sad. I haven't even really noticed that, because when do you look in a mirror at your elbow like this? You don't. They stretch over it and then literally it sounds like it's chipping away at your bone, and you're there just like trying to like quietly gag while they're like, are you good? And you're like, yeah, I'm fine, but you're not fine.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they
like, you're not fine, it hurts, of course it hurts. Yeah, so I got it to there, and then I was kind of like, I'm gonna have tattoo, and I also had this one done. And what I didn't want was just like a random big panel of black, so I was like, I'm gonna need to put something there. So then I had the idea of doing like a split tattoo, which is obviously what my rose is here. And I was like, can you not make half of it in normal and then half of it in black? And I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't massively convinced on that, but I actually think it looks quite cool. I mean, you can see that the white definitely needs redoing, but the concept's quite cool considering it was like a last minute improv idea. So I'm overall quite happy with it. I just need to do the white again. But that was the order in which I did most of the tattoo. But then obviously I've also got my hand. I then did my hand to here and blacked out this bit. And then after that was when I obviously did my moon, and can I just say, that was one of the most sucky tattoos I've ever had done in my life. The hand's fine, not a problem at all. The knuckles, not a problem at all. Do you know what sucks? In between your okay, not that one. In between your finger webbing. That is gross. It really, really, really hurt. And do you know what the best part is? I've had it done 3 times and it still needs redoing. Like from here, it looks great. From here, not so much, which is really annoying. Yeah, so that's really annoying. I mean, I really wish that it takes better, but I mean, I don't know if it makes a difference having it done with a rotary and a coil machine. I've had it done 3 times with a rotary machine, and I'm thinking maybe next time blast it with a coil. They're a bit more hard hitting. I don't know that much about them in all honesty, but you know, at this point in time, I'll try anything because I just want it to be in my skin, stay there, and then never have it redone again. Because every time you get it done again, it sucks that little bit more, and a tiny bit more of my soul breaks free and dies. I know you don't really know me that well yet. I mean, maybe you do, I don't know. But I don't have much of a soul to begin with, so I don't really want to lose the little bit that I have. But yeah, so that sucks. It's basically the sum up of this video is it really sucks and I didn't really have a good reason for getting it done. That's kind of the overall vibe that we're going with here. But in terms of healing the tattoo, I mean, in my tattoo do's and don'ts video, I did go into quite a lot about aftercare and stuff like that. So I didn't heal this in any other way. I used Palm's cocoa butter and absolutely slathered my arm in it, and then pretty much ignored it on the most part. I mean, I'm not really one for overworking my tattoos when they're sort of healing. I just like to, you know, they obviously wrap it up and then I literally leave the shop and I unwrap it because I'm like, no, I don't want to wrap tattoos. Some people wrap them and heal them. I personally don't. I don't like it. I think when you wrap tattoos, you're just creating a perfect environment for bacteria to grow, and it like slimes and seeps and like oozes. Like, why on earth would you want that trapped in plastic against your skin? Like, surely your skin needs to breathe. Obviously people have conflicting views on this, but I'm an Aries, so I'm right. I don't wrap my tattoos, so I'll literally take it off, get home, give it like a wash with like a little bit of water, maybe a little bit of soap, you know, treat yourself, and then I'll pat it dry. And that's how I do it, like this as well. So I pat it dry, and then I'll put some Palm's cocoa butter all over that shit. Like, I hate doing it, so quite often I would get my girlfriend to do it because I'm like absolute wimp. While I'm getting it done, I'm like, yo, it doesn't even hurt, it's fine, even though I'm like, this sucks. And then afterwards I'm like, I didn't want to touch it, so I normally get her to like do it for me, and I just try and rub like a thinnish layer into it. I normally do like little circle motions and just get it all up in there, and then I'll leave it. I normally would then leave it that evening, and in the morning I'll wash it again, cream it up, and then because I'm a barber, I work with hair all day and like products and stuff like that, so obviously I don't want to get any of that in my fresh tattoo. So if it's on my arm, I'll wear sleeves. When it was my hand, I wore a glove. It was a little tribute to MJ. I make myself laugh, at least at somebody. But yeah, I keep my tattoo covered while I'm at work, and then other than that, I kind of left it throughout the day and then again in the evening. So I probably literally creamed it twice a day, 3 times at max. But I do prefer to sort of like half dry heal. Once it's at the flaky stage, I'll probably literally cream it once a day. And the only reason I really do that is to just sort of like peel some of it off, because you obviously shouldn't just directly peel it off. But when you put the cream in it and then you watch it all peel off, like, satisfying. Like, I really love doing that. So I think that's how I healed the most, pretty much all of it, to be honest. It was a little bit more difficult with the hand and the fingers because obviously I had a glove on. I didn't really like that, so whenever I wasn't at work, I took the glove straight off because it wasn't really ideal, like especially if you're more of a dry healer, because like your hand's like weeping and stuff and it's in a glove and it's a bit like, it wasn't very nice. But to be honest, maybe that has an impact as to why it hasn't healed that well. I don't know. If you guys have got any better suggestions for me in how to heal my hand tattoo, or should I have it done with a coil or a rotary, or just anything to help it look better than this, then please feel free to write in the comment section, what should I do? Any help would be greatly appreciated. Now, the other thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about was about reactions to it. Like, I mean, I get stared at a lot when I'm going out. I mean, I come from like a tiny little town in England where everybody's pretty much white, middle class, middle aged. So anybody that doesn't fit in that basically like conservative bracket gets looked at like. So yeah, I'm obviously not really in that bracket, so I do get stared at quite a lot anyway. I don't know if that's because of my hair or because of my tattoos or piercings or what, I don't know, or my ears maybe. It's probably a combination of all of it, but I do get stared at a lot, especially in summer. Like, if I'm wearing like a vest and shorts, I literally get so many people just outright stare at me. So I think to get a blackout tattoo and to have one, you have to be prepared for people to look at you and be like, what the fuck? Because a lot of people are. And that's fine, because at the end of the day, you got it because you wanted it. You know, you don't walk around looking like the same as everybody else walks around looking like, because you don't want to look like that. So you've chosen to look the way you look. So if people then look at you and think, why would you do that? You kind of just go, I don't care. Because if you're happy with how you look, like, for me, I'm like, I love it. I think it looks cool. And I really enjoy having it. So if people want to stare at me and like make comments or like point at me to their friend and quite obviously then get their attention to make them look at me as well, I'm kind of like, cool, like, go for it. I don't really care. I mean, the best way to be when you're gonna modify yourself in some sort of way is to genuinely not care. Because I think if you're the sort of person that really does, it probably would bother you quite a lot, and it could be quite upsetting. Like, I have a way to walk anywhere that's public, and that is I pick a point to stare at and I just walk. So I've had so many people come up to me and be like, I called you the other day, or I literally walked right past you the other day and waved at you and you ignored me. I didn't on purpose. I just fixate on a part and I walk, because I find it really awkward when people stare at me. So do you know what I do? I ignore them, and it's amazing. But it does mean that I sometimes ignore my friends, so yeah, apologies for that. Or if any of you ever see me out and about and you say hi to me and I ignore you, I promise it's not on purpose. Maybe just like walk up to me and like punch me in the face. No, don't do that. But like jump in front of me and do, no, don't do that either, because I'll probably get scared. I don't know, maybe just calmly come up to me and just be like, in my face until I notice you. That's probably the best way about it. But yeah, so you do get stared, well, I do get stared at a lot. I think I've had 2 responses to my arm, which have probably been my favourites. So I had one while I was at work and I was cutting this lady's hair, and like I do her hair all the time anyway, but in the space of time between her appointments, I'd got my entire arm blacked out. Now she genuinely, say I'm like here like doing shit, like cutting hair and all this, she literally got her finger like this and was like, I thought that was a sleeve. And I was like, it is a sleeve. And she was like, no, like I thought it was your t-shirt sleeve. And I kind of thought, I was like, when have you ever gone up to somebody, or somebody's like been next to you and you've gone like this on their arm to see if it was part of their t-shirt? I mean, I just think that's a weird concept personally, but I found it entertaining. When I was like, no, it's a tattoo, she was like, ooh, like as though she was scared of it. It was like she thought that the devil was going to come out of my arm and like wrap its arms around her and like kill her and something. I don't know, something dramatic though. But I was like, I don't know why I was scared of my arm, but I think that says a lot more about you. So I found that more funny, I guess, than anything else. But every time like she comes in, she's like, oh, have you got any more? And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting more tattoos every time, so get over it. I mean, people always think that if they don't have loads of tattoos and you do, that there's something wrong with you, and that they're like, oh, you know, you just shouldn't ruin your face, or you just shouldn't ruin your body, or, you know, oh, it's such a shame, or it's such a waste. And I think, you're like a fucking blank piece of paper and you're calling me like, you know, weird. Like, who wants to be just plain and boring? Like, no, you're weird. Like, decorate yourself, have some personality on your skin, like put out what you like. Show me something about yourself that isn't just nothing. Like, I don't know anything about you. When you look at me, hopefully you would think that I'm at least creative. Like, I've got a creative job and I love to draw and I love to paint and things like that. Like, I am creative, so I put things on my skin. Like, I just think it's such a shame to have the opinion that it makes you a lesser person, or, you know, it's a waste or a shame, because I don't go turn around to people that aren't covered in tattoos and say, oh, what a waste and what a shame, even if I think that, because I love tattoos. So if you don't have loads, I do think that's a waste of skin, because I'm attracted to people that do have some tattoos, even if you've got one or two. That's amazing, that's really cool, like, good on you. And if you don't, equally fair play. I'm not going to say anything to you, it's just not my personal opinion. Like, it's not what I personally like. But so many people that don't have tattoos think it's their place and think that they have every right to share their opinion directly to the face of somebody that's covered in tattoos. So if you're that person, stop being that person, because we all think you're a twat. The second reaction that I had to my tattoo that I thought was amazing was, I was at a gig and it was one of the bouncers, and he was this black guy, and he was absolutely built like, you know, brick shit house, and he was, you know, he was quite intimidating just because he was so massive, and he was stood there, and I was like, oh my god. Like, at 5'2", I was a bit like, yeah, I'm about to get pushed into this guy. And he stopped me, and I was like, oh my god, what have I done? Thinking that you know, when you get stopped by someone, then you automatically assume that you're like shooting heroin or something like massively illegal, even though you've never done it in your life, because you're like, oh my god, scared. It's kind of like one of those moments. I was like, what have I done? And he legitimately turned around to me and he was like, you're blacker than me, and gave me a high five. And that is the funniest reaction to a tattoo that I've ever had. And I just was like, you're a legend. Like, people like you are amazing. Like, they're so funny. I absolutely loved him for that. I thought it was amazing. But then, interestingly, to flip that around, I then had a white guy message me on Instagram and tell me that my blackout sleeve was racist. Work that one out. I mean, I'm sure that you, as a middle-class white male, have every right to say what is racist towards a black person, so yeah. So I guess that's kind of it, really. I mean, I've gone through, obviously, why, like, the placement, how I got mine done. Again, it probably wasn't the best way to get it done, but it's the way that I did it. Like, healing it, like, what I do to try and, like, look after it and, like, you know, keep it healing well, I guess, I don't know. And, like, obviously what it was like to actually get it done, responses and reactions I get and stuff like that. So I guess that pretty much all in all sums up why I got my blackout sleeve, what it's like to have it, and yeah, the overall thing is that I love it. I would never ever change it. No, it's not a cover-up. And would I encourage other people to have one? If it's a style that you really like and you've got loads of other tattoos, because I think if you've just got a random blacked out arm and no other tattoos, it's not really my thing and it might look a bit odd. But yeah, I'd say really think about it before you get it done. Don't just do what I did and go, oh, I want it now, does it now? Yeah, think it through. Make sure you do some research. Make sure you go to somebody that's either done it before or somebody that you just really, really, really trust. And yeah, don't hate on other people for their tattoos. Tattoo community shouldn't hate on each other. If you don't like their tattoo, do you know what? They don't care. Stop spreading it. No one cares about the hatred that you have to spit out, okay? But yeah, let me know what you guys think of my video in the comment section. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys want to see from me next time. Thank you.